Hey, everybody.
Ooh, hey.
Happy Thanksgiving. Where the heck am I going?
And it starts.
Happy Wednesday. It is October 14th, and we have a special day today because, hey, everybody.
Ooh, hey.
We have Happy Thanksgiving. Where the heck?
Oh, we got playback. And it starts.
Happy Wednesday. It is October 14th. And I think one of you guys, one of you have the open. We have Happy Thanksgiving. Where the heck?
Oh, we got playback.
Who's got the back slap going?
Happy Wednesday. October 14th.
Not me.
Not us.
I think one of you guys, one of you have. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Oh, we got playback.
And is it you?
No.
Sorry, guys. Welcome to the show. They should expect us to happen.
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Oh, we got playback.
We'll go around. Sorry, guys. I think it's becoming like the ship show.
Can you mute?
It was
Oh, it's Arnie.
it was
Arnie. Arnie, you're the culprit.
You have a window?
You must have the window open. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
There we go. Ben's or Arnie's face.
I didn't do anything.
It's all right.
It's
We muted you, and it went away.
And now Greg's doing it again.
It's on my phone.
All right, you guys.
So welcome to our spooktacular show.
And it's already happening like the ship show because anything can happen when we go
First,
live.
Derick thought it was Thanksgiving, and then we had playback, but that's okay.
Welcome, everyone. We have a special show today with special guests. It's our great
I thought you were
friends.
gonna say something else.
Great friends from Northern California. It is PTV. So welcome, guys.
Pepper
Thank you
Tree
for joining us.
Villa.
Hey there.
I think this is the first time we've had Sherry on our on.
I think so.
I think so.
So we had PTVS. That doesn't sound right at all, does it?
No. Sounds like something you need to take penicillin for.
Yeah, it does.
We're gonna say a quick hello to everyone that's come in on the chat. So, Greg, if you want to say,
All right. So we got always on the move. MGM Family Travel, always on the move again. All right. Random Cruiser. Wanda, cruising for food. ChadCruisers is in the house. I don't want to miss anybody. So Fisher Fun Ventures. Rachel Lives Dizney. Pepper Tree Villa. The Orlando guy. CheatMeal FoodCat. Going through. Captain Akron 27, Papa Mozo. AJC Magic TV.
You do know that is Captain Akron because that's from Akron, Ohio.
that's right.
I always said Captain Akron.
I corrected him so much. I just kind of let it go now.
Okay.
He knows we love him.
Okay, and you saying it's
Ryan
Thanksgiving? Spiker's Crazy Adventures. Michelle
Ryan.
Wilms, Mary Ellen Shaw. I think I said Pam's fam. Everybody, welcome to our show. I don't think I
Welcome.
missed anybody.
It
So
is a special show. It is one of Greg's favorite shows, and because it's what is it, Greg? It's all about Nightmare Before Christmas.
okay, I didn't know what you were getting at. So yes, it's a Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually forgot I even had this shirt. So, but it's one of my favorite holiday. I won't say Halloween or Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. One of my favorite holiday movies, because we're gonna have a debate whether we think it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, and then we'll actually answer it because I did find out what it should actually be.
Greg, just so you know, he loves Halloween so much. I relinquished control of the topics for the month, And all this
You
entire month,
relinquished. I told you what we were gonna do. Don't try to act like you gave me the power. I took that power away from you.
all this month, Greg has decided what we're going to do, which actually is a fun relief. So if it fails, it's all Greg's fault. If it worked out great, I agreed with it.
This coming from you that thought it was Thanksgiving.
Yes. We do have...
Just Noah's Adventures. Welcome.
Noah. We do have a dilly.
And I am wearing my version of Doug's gloves because I don't want to get fingerprints on stuff because it's kind of filmy, and I already noticed that I was trying to clean prints off before because it happened. So I'm going to just grab my glass like this.
So here is...
Cheers.
This is a pumpkin spice margarita.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
That is good. You made it without the ginger ale, didn't you?
It's a margarita. Yeah, so it's got the tequila, and it's like a blue curacao, but I put the pumpkin spice in
The
it
blue
instead.
Caraco?
Yes, however you like to say it. So, dilly,
I always
everyone.
called it blue Caraco. It sounds so much better than curacao. Jim from More Sunshine, please. Welcome. In my opinion, it sounds better. Random Cruiser, welcome.
We also want to thank everyone who's been sharing out our videos. So thank you so much. The feed. I know Fisher Fun Ventures did Cruising for Food, and anyone else who did it that I didn't notice. Thank you guys so much. We love the support.
Yes, thank you. And tell ChadCruisers what you put in there because they want the ingredients right now. Right now, they want them.
I did maybe a shot of the pumpkin spice liqueur that we bought. I did probably 1.5 shots of tequila, and I did about 3.5 seconds pour. And then it's just the margarita mix. So that's it. It's a pretty simple combination.
Awesome. Minus the ginger ale, which is so much better. RobFuz in the house. Welcome. MG Tao, welcome. So we are doing this awesome show about Nightmare Before Christmas. And you said you wanted to do something before we started. What was that?
We did to think that this whole movie was it was created in 1993, the same year that Hocus Pocus came out with. So what a year for Halloween movies.
Well, yeah, it came out in 1993, but it took them a very long time to make the movie.
It did. But to think that it came all from a poem. So we're going to turn it over to Arnie. But you know what? I think the poem started something like this.
Oh no.
There once was a lady from Gritch.
Oh my God.
Who wanted to be an old witch, but she found out the most all she could be was a ghost. So she threw herself into a ditch. So boom. That's how the movie started. Just kidding.
I have heard that so many times. I had no idea he was going to do that.
But the poem that really inspired it.
Way to start on a morbid number here.
We're going to throw it over to Arnie. So Arnie, the stage is yours.
Okay, it just depends on how much you want to hear of this. I'll go ahead and start. It was late one fall in Halloween. The air had quite a chill. And against the moon, a skeleton sat alone upon the hill. He was tall and thin, with a bat bow tie. Jack Skellington was his name. I'm bored with leering my horrible glances, and my feet hurt from doing skeleton dances. Then out from a grave with a curl and a twist, whimpered and whined a spectral whist. It was a little ghost dog with a faint little bark, with a jack-o'-lantern nose that glowed in the dark. A mad experiment swept over his face, and he jumped and darted from place to place, and just when he thought he'd seen all he could see, behind him lit the most dazzling tree. Immersed in the lights, Jack was no longer haunted, for he had finally found the feeling he wanted. And then, as the poem notes, back in Halloween gathered a group of Jack's peers, and they stared in amazement at his Christmas souvenirs. For this wondrous vision, none were prepared. Most were excited, though a few were quite scared. In Christmas Town, Santa was working on toys. At his workshop door, he heard a soft noise. He entered the door, and with startled surprise, he saw weird little creatures that were strangely disguised. Of course, those were Lock, Shock, and Barrel. I could go on, but you get the gist of how the poem started.
You're actually almost done. You might as well finish it.
You think so?
I think so, because, yeah, it stops on page 84.
Okay. 'Twas the nightmare before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was peaceful, not even a mouse. The stockings all hung by the chimney with care, when opened that morning would cause quite a scare. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, would have nightmares of monsters and skeleton heads.
That's from the attraction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
From house to house, with a true sense of joy, Jack happily issued each present and toy. A man-eating plant disguised as a wreath, and a vampire teddy bear with very sharp teeth. And then away they flew, all like the storm of a thistle, until they were hit by a well-guided missile. I thought I could be Santa. I had such belief. And
I think it was there. Yeah,
that's all they have printed in the book.
yeah. I'm sure it's longer.
This book.
So Arnie and us have the same, happen to have the same book. So he told me what page it was, and I was just following along. But that's why I'm wearing these, because this really does pick up prints very easily.
Also, we want to welcome in Nautical Nurse Nancy. Thanks for joining us. And Najuma Brown, always such a huge supporter. So thank you so much.
And Jonathan Chong.
Welcome.
And ChadCruisers, welcome.
All the way, Syracuse. Go
Did
Buffalo.
you say MGM Family Travel?
If we didn't, hello. Thank you, Lucy and Bill.
So we were watching this earlier, and I don't even think they have it anymore, but at Target last year, we got the 20, well, I guess it was a sing-along edition, but it came out when Hocus Pocus had their 25th anniversary edition. But it comes with a book, and it has the makings on the back. So there are a lot of cool, fun facts in here as well. And I actually like the artwork that they have in here also.
It is nice stuff.
Huh?
That's nice stuff.
Yeah. And then there's Zero. I really like Zero. I mean, he's a very simple, kind little character, but it comes with a book, and Target always does a book, it seems now. They used to do an extra disc, but it's just a book. So, but so we want to know, and while we're talking, I'll look into this because there's some things that I wanted to share. Well, we want to know what Sherry thought because she saw the movie today for the very first time ever.
For the very first time. And I finished watching it, and I texted Ben, and I thought, oh my gosh, why did I wait so long to see it? I loved it.
Yep.
I absolutely loved it.
Sherry's not one to sit down and watch movies very often because she's always wrapped up in a lot of reality television.
Not all the time.
But she's lagging on quite a bit of Pixar films. Like she hasn't seen The Incredibles or The Incredibles 2.
Oh, wow.
Which other ones have you not seen? Quite a few.
No, I don't think that many anymore.
No? Okay. Well,
So was there what did you like and what did you not like, if anything, about the movie?
Should we save that for the end, maybe recap instead of at the beginning? When we recap that.
That's fine.
All right.
Well, let me start with this then, because it says The Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie. This is from Tim Burton. It's a movie I wanted to make for over a decade. It started as a poem I wrote, influenced by the style of my favorite children's author, Dr. Seuss. I made several drawings of the characters and the settings and began planning it as a film. Nightmare is the story of Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Land, who discovers Christmas and immediately wants to celebrate this strange holiday himself. The setting may be odd and a little unsettling, but there are no real villains in the film. It's a celebration of Halloween and Christmas, my two favorite holidays. Mine too. The Nightmare Before Christmas is deeper in my heart than any other film. It is more beautiful than I imagined it would be, thanks to Henry Selick, who was the director, and his talented crew of artists, animators, and designers. As I watch it, I know I will never have this feeling again. The Nightmare Before Christmas is special. It is a film that I have always known I had to make. More important, it is a film I have always wanted to see. So that was my question that we can answer some point in the show, is when he said, but there are no real villains in the film. Do you agree with that? You can ponder that.
I disagree.
I just
disagree too.
Okay, yeah. I thought the same thing. I don't know why he said that, because clearly Oogie Boogie is the villain in the movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's not innocent or anything. He's a jokester. So I don't see, maybe he knows something we don't. Tim Burton, I don't know.
Well,
Tim Zingano, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for joining us.
to be fair, Tim Burton has a very macabre personality.
Yeah, but
Very, very, very twisted.
I don't think we would have some of the greatest films of all time, in my opinion, without him, because a lot of
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Classic.
That's just funny.
It was
But-
the first film he directed.
It was.
Yeah, that's the one where Pee Wee thinks there's a basement in the Alamo, and they all laugh at him.
Alamo in the basement.
There's no basement in the Alamo.
Welcome, Daniel Fields. So some of the other history about it, it was 1993 American stop motion animated musical dark fantasy directed by Henry Selick. It was produced and conceived by Tim Burton. We were talking about this before the show, but it was from the poem in 1982. Well, Tim Burton was working as an animator at Walt Disney Productions. Over the years, Burton's thoughts regularly returned to the project, and in 1990, he made a development deal with Walt Disney Studios. They were originally going to do it as he wanted to do it as a 30-minute short film, and then it was shelved for a while, ended up being a full motion animated feature.
Wow.
The production started in July 1991 in San Francisco, and Disney released the film through Touchstone's Pictures because the studio believed the film would be too dark and scary for kids. So it met with both critical and financial success, grossing $89.1 million since its initial release and garnering a cult following. It was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, a first for an animated film. So we'll stop up there with the history, but technically wise, it's an amazing film. So as we go into production, what do you guys, or did you want to add something else before we move on to that?
Well, just through the show, I'll say some quotes. Henry Selick, the director, said, "I've worked on a lot of films, and this one was unique. I know it's just probably corny, but the love we felt for those characters and the joy in doing it was like a flower bulb you put in the ground. That was part of how it came out years later and continues to flourish."
Welcome, BDF, and also Life is Good Today. Welcome, guys.
Yes, welcome.
So we'll go over to Arnie. What did you think of? Do you have anything to add, either of you, on the history of it before we move on to production?
Just that the production in San Francisco took, like you said, took over 2 years to do it, and they built the sets, did everything on 20 different sound studios. 20 studios in San Francisco. I didn't even know they had that many sound studios in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But yeah, they did all those props, and apparently as they were building them, like Ben, you just said this, didn't you?
Yeah. I learned this, I think, watching an episode of Prop Culture on Disney Plus, where they would build a set, do the shots that they needed to do, and while they were working on that, the crew would go to the next stage and build what they would need for the next round of shooting. And there was so many sets that needed to be done for this film that they would build and then move on, like kind of dominoes from one to the other to the other. And as they needed another set, they would tear down a set and destroy it and then build another one just to replace it for more shooting. But this, of course, took over 2 years to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they would need to do that.
Now, does anybody know where in San Francisco?
The studio. Let me see if I can find where the studio.
Where were the sound stages?
While you're doing that, another quote. I watched this movie and I'm amazed how well it stands up. I was surprised by that, and that's the truth of it. It stands up because it's a sincere, lovely movie.
I don't know. I think it stands up because of the characters are such odd characters. There is no really like a time frame for them. So they.
And well, see, that's just it. they've created an entire world that isn't necessarily dated to anything.
Correct.
So it could stand on its own and be shown 20 years from even now and probably still be seen as a true classic without being dated, other than the style of photography that was used to create the film.
You might not know that they were doing the songs while they made the movie. So Danny Elfman said, I just started telling the story in songs as we went along. It's about as smooth as anything I've worked on. The process was kind of crazy and insane and fun all at the same time. So Danny Elfman did the singing voice of Jack Skellington, and Chris Sarandon did the talking voice of Jack Skellington, but they really sounded the same.
Yeah.
Like it was the same person.
Do you know who Chris Sarandon is?
Yes, he's in a lot of movies, but I know he's in Child's Play. He's in Fright Night.
He's really well known for playing the prince in The Princess Bride.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was in that. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But good to know, yeah.
Yeah, he played Prince Humperdinck.
Humperdinck.
Humperdinck or
Humperdinck. Humperdinck.
Oh,
Like
God.
Engelbert.
Humperdinck.
okay.
I was thinking Men in Tights for a minute.
No, that was
That's Carrie
Mel
Ellis.
Brooks' film.
Yeah.
That was Carrie Elwes.
Welcome, So Cargo. Thank you for joining us.
Also Princess Bride.
And See the World with Chris. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, he looks totally different now. If you watch Prop Culture on Disney Plus, they have a making of this movie, and they do show Chris Sarandon in an interview, and he meets Jack Skellington again face to face with the puppet, and he looks nothing really like he did back then. He looks like a different person.
Yeah.
As we all do once we start getting older.
Careful.
There was one thing there's one thing I do remember about the history of this film, and that is that the draft of the script was sent for tweaking, and there were like 1 or 2 production notes that were done by Tim Burton. Other than that, they shot it pretty much as the original draft of the script.
That's pretty
Yeah.
That's very rare.
Very rare in Hollywood. And there were no studio notes on it at all.
Mm-mm. They had one. Oh my god, what am I trying to draft of the script?
That's what you just said.
Oh,
And then
okay.
just had a couple of notes on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Keep up, Greg.
No, I was listening, but I was looking at the things too.
Drink water. Don't
Didn't you also say that because of the changing that kept going back and forth between sound stages, a lot of props were destroyed?
Yeah, they would destroy them as they would move on to the next set to make room for the new sets that needed to be built to replace them.
That's a
See,
shame.
Sherry's in the same boat as me.
Welcome. It's Joey's World. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you guys are just joining us, we're talking about
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
and the final conclusion will be: is this a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie or Easter movie? Who knows? We'll let you guys know what we think.
What? So we were talking before the show, and Sherry kind of hit this on the nose. Jack is basically trying to do good, but he's misperceived, says Tim Burton. After Jack takes on the role of Santa, he thinks everything is wonderful, but he's actually driving the whole world into a state of panic. There's something very sad and funny about that.
Interesting that we would be talking about a state of panic, especially during the year that we've had.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting too. I heard Tim Burton wanted to make a movie that was similar to Thanksgiving, because both movies and Thanksgiving turkey puts you to sleep. Just kidding. Just kidding. I will tell you, every time I watch this, and literally today we rewatched it.
Yeah.
I started doing this thing. When
I knew you were.
Greg goes, "You're sleeping." No, I'm not. So for some reason, this movie always puts me to sleep. But
Well, to be fair, The Dark Crystal did that to me every time I tried to watch it, and then I finally got through it, and I was just like,
Derek, it just seems that any film is like Sominex for you.
I would tell you though, from the production standpoint, the stop motion animation is amazing.
It's beautifully done.
Yeah, on the prop what is it? Prop culture? Is that what
Prop culture.
they were saying that they have like the head and they pop off the heads.
Yeah.
And they have 400 different heads to change, like when they're talking, to change it.
Just like a second, like barely changing how he looks.
So I've always liked the sets, the way they looked, how they moved. I always was amazed from that. And I think this makes this movie so interesting for me to watch. I've always had trouble with the story of it and the oddity of the characters. I think today was the first time I really appreciated the story. Maybe because I managed to stay awake through the whole thing, but I did get a big difference of it. But they had what they say they made 227 puppets for this. We weren't sure if that was. Well, I don't think there was different characters, so they just in general made 227 puppets.
They
for
made
everything.
Multiples of each character.
So technically wise, this was an amazing feat. Got so much kudos for them on that.
And speaking of the puppets. This is coming from my animator. I had to dig in with my feet and physically push the Oogie Boogie puppet. He's so huge and there's so much foam. Therefore, the armature that's inside needs to be very tight. It's literally wrestling with the puppet. And that was their biggest maquette that they had to make. That he was a huge puppet.
Jonathan says Tim Burton has a rough childhood. He always puts it in his films in some manner. And CheatMeal FoodCat said, it's the music. Music makes you go to sleep. It could be very well. And then Wanda says, it's a very dark movie, so it puts you to sleep. Could be.
I think Derick just likes to sleep.
To make that, he was a huge puppet.
Possibly.
Uh-oh.
Did we get feedback again
for
a second?
It's okay.
So what did you guys think production-wise? Arnie, what did you think?
I thought the whole production was just beautifully done. The way they made Jack just a very skinny skeleton and then changed his head. That was amazing that they were able to get his facial features, just like we all talked about. I'm still amazed by that.
I always compare this film to the 1960s and 70s stop motion films that were done for Christmas specials on television, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, because it's the same technique, only this one is done. This one is done in a way that it's much more fluid.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene is watching Jack during his lament, and he walks down that mountain that just kind of like unfurls out from its coral, and then he just walks down. Exactly, that scene right there. I think that's my favorite visual scene.
Now, have any of you ever read anything about Tim Burton's childhood?
No.
It's interesting. It said he was born and raised in Burbank and was 14 when his sketches caught the attention of a local garbage company. He won first prize for an anti-litter campaign, and his posters were pasted on the district's rubbish trucks for the next year. Nearby Disney Studios sponsored him to attend California Institute of the Arts, from which he graduated in 1979. He went to work as a Disney animator on The Fox and the Hound and The Black Cauldron. In 1982, he made his directorial debut for the studio with the stop-motion animated short Vincent, narrated by Vincent Price. The film was a festival circuit darling and paved the way for his 1984 live-action short Frankenweenie, a twist on the Frankenstein legend. He said, I was always a loner and spent a lot of time by myself making up stories and that kind of thing. We lived near a cemetery, so I'd like to go there and wonder about the scary guy who dug graves.
Oh my gosh.
I never really hung out with other kids and always found it difficult to really connect with people, in particular girls, which is interesting. Taking his relationship with Sally is kind of different. Looking back, it's kind of scary how solitary I was. I think if you've ever had that feeling of loneliness, of being an outsider, it never quite leaves you. You can be happy or successful or whatever, but that thing still stays within you. Growing up, I had these 2 windows in my room, nice windows that looked out on the lawn, and for some reason, my parents walled them up and gave me this little slit window that I had to climb up on a desk to see out of. I never did ask them why. But my parents are dead now, so I guess the question will remain unanswered as to why they sealed me in a room. I guess they just didn't want me to escape. I don't know. And it goes on from there.
That's horrible.
Yeah. What terrible.
Speaking of Sally, he said the Sally character came from something really deep in me, a sort of weird impulse. She came out of drawings with a strange stitching image that I've been thinking about for a while.
I still love the fact that the voice of Sally is Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
And she also does the voice of Locke, which is the witch trick-or-treater.
Yeah.
Just really made her voice high-pitched.
Welcome the Billy crew and Greg, Mama Berthel.
I would
Welcome.
love to be able to stitch myself back together like Sally did.
I don't think she feels pain. I mean, she threw herself out of probably 100-foot window.
What are you doing with that?
Yes, it is Spotlight
Thank you.
Channel time. I was going to say it. Thank you. Disney Nerd Herders. I don't know if we said welcome, but welcome.
He's playing together one.
He hasn't found that Spotlight Channel yet.
No, but this portion of our show is brought to you by MGM Family Travel, Lucy and Bill. So our one is, I've been trying to keep this hush because I asked Rachel of Disney about this, and I was trying to keep it hush, but Rachel loves to ask questions on why, and I did my best to try to stir her away. But our channel here, we actually were on with this channel on Rachel's show. So if you guys have not already, please check out CheatMeal FoodCat. They have 100 subscribers. It is Kat and Oscar. There's videos of all different kinds on there. So if you guys are new to them, please check them out. Let's get them up to 1,000 subscribers. I did post this a little bit later in our chat, so you guys can, not in the chat, but in the description. So you should be able to click on that and find it. So yeah, a lot of different videos for them, 111 subscribers. So please check them out and support another channel. Also, you guys, at this time, if you haven't already, please, almost left the studio. Please put in there that you guys are creators, support each other. Let's show some love to each other, and just support each other. Mouse Talk, sorry, I was looking at the chat while I was trying to talk, which is kind of hard for me. Mouse Talk, thank you guys for joining us. Great show on the Disney Nerd Herders. We tried to stay as long as we could tonight, but good show as always, guys. What do you do, bud?
I'm trying to move this because I didn't say oh. Arnie, I don't remember the question, but did you find the answer to whatever that question was that you were looking at?
Oh, yeah, it was the location of the studios. No, it just said San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Anything I could find just said San Francisco.
So let's talk a little bit about the story, you guys. To me, this is the weakest aspect of it, but I did get a different insight from today. I took away with something different than I had before. Maybe
how is it the weakest aspect?
Well, maybe it's because it helps if your eyes are open during the movie, but
the story makes the whole thing.
It was just hard for me to get into is probably the best way. But he does have an Alice in Wonderland moment because he falls through a tree. Oh my gosh. A tree.
Well, he doesn't fall, actually. The snowflakes come and twirl around him and pull him in.
Yes, and he visits Christmas Town, and that's where he gets his vision.
Christmas Land, sorry.
It's Christmas Town.
Christmas.
I wrote it in my notes.
I'm thinking of the song.
It's Christmas Town.
Okay, we were right. Christmas Town.
So he goes out there and he's already bored, and it was kind of ironic from the story part of it. In real life, Danny Elfman wrote a song where he's talking about him being bored and wanting something different.
Oh, that was after he was in the cemetery and he was thinking about what he just did, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and that's kind of how this story was. So he's out there looking for something different, and he's walking after they have a night of Halloween, and he comes across this little area on trees with different doors, and one of them is a Christmas tree, and that's what he goes down into there. So that's kind of how it opens up, where he goes to experience what Christmas is, and he wants to bring Christmas into Halloween Town. So he does different things for it.
And he also wants to just take over Christmas in general.
So and he wants to kidnap Santa
for the whole world. Yeah, he basically wanted to do Santa's job.
Yes. So Sherry and Ben, what do you guys want to add to the story of it?
I liked the story, actually. And I think part of it is because working with kids, I read so many stories, and a lot of them are all the same, that this one had a little bit of a different twist to it.
A little bit.
Well, I mean...
We know what you meant.
No, I liked the story from it. I thought it was great. I like the fact that it wasn't... I mean, I can see where kids would be scared by the movie, but I can also see where if they're prepared for it, you know, they would be really into it. Because they do kids like strange things. I mean, I've got a book that I read every year to classes called John Jeremy Colton. And it was written by a friend of ours. And when I first heard the title, and he was British, so I kind of expected something like Beatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit. But this book looked like it was Dr. Seuss meets Peter Max, the designer, the artist. It was just all over the place. And I do things with them like there's some pages where the writing goes in a circle. So I'd start reading it and I'd start turning the book as I'm reading it to the kids, and they were just really into it. It was really fun. I look absolutely crazy doing it, but it's fun.
And it's absolutely crazy all the time.
It's not a Jim posted of locations. It's South of Market in San Francisco, 375 7th Street.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Welcome, Kay Atwood. Arnie, what did you think of the story?
Well, for you, it was a snorry because you were trying to fall asleep during it.
I mean, how much tequila was in that drink?
I don't know.
I know, right?
I'm not the biggest Halloween fan.
Look, I could touch my nose.
But I'm not really the biggest Halloween fan, but this movie just drew me in, especially when Jack falls through the tree and then ends up in Christmas Town and starts exploring things that aren't scary at all, things that are happy and joyous, and I was completely fascinated by it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, I really fell in love with the movie when he was in Christmas Town. That one scene, especially with the train going around and you see little puffs of smoke flying through the air. Beautifully done, but it's very cute. It's a great film. I liked it.
Yeah, I was saying to Derek about that. I said, I wonder how they did that. It was like they used cotton balls and pulled them out with wire or something. What happened?
Wanda.
If you didn't notice there at the beginning, you can actually see the strings of the bats when it shows the Oogie Boogie and the moon, and then he breaks up into bats and they come flying at the screen.
But it's only super quick.
You literally see all these wires really quick. But I like that you can see that. It's kind of endearing. So,
and if you don't see it, if you don't pay attention,
you
don't
see
really
it every time.
With everything as digitized as it is anymore these days, it's kind of charming to see something done in an old-fashioned way where they didn't even try and hide it.
Yep.
Ed Wood here. Yeah,
I've never seen that movie.
It's a good one. It shows the making of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I do want to give two other shout outs for his movies that are Halloween time watching. Is A Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie. Same type of process that they use to make the movies, and they all feel the same way to me, kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas with the puppets and everything, except Frankenweenie is totally black and white, and he actually made a Frankenweenie short before he made that movie, and then Nightmare Before Christmas before Frankenweenie came out, the stop motion one.
Gotcha. What about the characters?
There are a lot of colorful characters and not so colorful.
The characters always disturbed me.
I like it.
I always thought they looked odd. It was hard for me to connect with any of them, but I would say today, Sally probably had the most impact on me. I could see it. She had the most feeling to me, but also Jack. I could see the characters, but I think it also helps that when you stay awake. I keep saying that, but it was hard for me really to follow, and just the characters are so odd. But I try to look beyond that today, and just see the uniqueness. I think watching the prop show, the prop culture, maybe see things in a different way of how they created everything to make me appreciate the characters more. But I think the two that had the most feeling for me was Sally and Jack. What about you, Greg?
I can relate to both Jack and Sally, actually, in one way or another. I mean, Jack is someone that tries to do something good and is misunderstood, which sometimes I am. And things that I try to do backfire on me, but I mean it in the best intentions. And then Sally is kind of living like a lonely life, like in her own world and everything, and she wants to be part of something. What,
Jim?
She wants to be part of the world, and she wants to be part of a lot of things that are exciting and stuff, and that's me as well. I like to be part of things and have fun, and that's what she yearns for, is love, life, fun, things like that. So, but I think one of my favorite characters is the one that his mouth goes totally all the way around his body, like it's all open. There's like the neck is literally inside his throat, and then he has like these snake things for hair. So I mean, he looks like a porcupine with feathers. So I don't think he has a name. If he does, I don't know it, but that's probably one of my favorite characters.
Even Sam is weird looking. Yeah, actually, one of the weird Jim. I like one of the weird characters, Dr. Finkelstein, especially when he opens his head and scratches his brain.
Yeah,
so funny.
Do you know who does Dr. Finkelstein's voice?
I do know. I just cannot remember off the top of my head.
Well, I don't know his name, but you've seen him in a movie. He was Aunt Bethany's alter ego or other half husband.
Right, her husband.
Yep, he had the same voice.
That's right.
Yeah. So what did you think of the characters, Arnie?
I thought, I don't think quirky is quite even the word for it. I just think bizarre and odd. But of course, when you think of Halloween, it should be bizarre and odd. So the characters make sense. I like Scary Teddy. I like Undead Duck. I like the little snake that is given away and starts eating the Christmas tree.
That was hilarious. The little boy is like screaming with his hair up in the air, and
I find, while they are odd and bizarre, they're somewhat endearing for what they are. They're supposed to scare you. That's what they're for.
They don't want to hurt you. They just want to scare you.
Yes.
So
because they're after Halloween after all.
Yeah.
Yes. I also like the mayor. I would say he's one of my other favorite characters because he could switch his head.
He's a definite Two-Face.
Yeah, but it was hilarious.
In a sentence, he would.
I told Derick when he said this, he said, when he was yelling for Jack and Jack wasn't answering, and he said, "I'm only an elected official. I can't make decisions by myself." And I thought, oh my gosh.
How fitting is that today?
I know. Like, yeah, you're an elected official. You need to start making decisions by yourself.
Welcome.
Thanks, Jim.
Ben and Sherry, what do you think of the characters?
Now, I can't say I found Jack and Sally odd like you found them, Arnie. I found them very, outside of the way they looked, they were very human to me. They had a lot of human traits.
Not Sally, all the townspeople.
Oh, yeah, that could be. But I found myself feeling sorry for both of them.
Yeah, I will say this. If I was a character in that film walking around with a hatchet in my head, I think I'd fall over.
But I loved the fact that Sally was very human in her emotions, in wanting to fit in and wanting, caring for Jack so much that she was willing to try and help him.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jack was totally oblivious, like so many men are.
But could you identify to Sally because she was able to sew as well?
No, I think I identified to her because of her compassion.
Okay.
And Jack, I just thought he was a great guy, just
misunderstood
and trying too hard to do something nice, which I do quite often.
Welcome, our buddy Mike Woodbury is in here, so thank you, Mike. Yeah, Mike, we can say this to you. Yeah, you are late.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I've known
We'll
Mike,
hear from him later.
I've known Mike since 1993. We have been together for a very long time. So yeah.
Did you guys go see the movie together? It was released in
I don't remember. Mike, do you know, did we see Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nightmare on Elm Street? Whoa, that came out in 1981.
I'm sure he saw and a clothing optional resort. So.
Goodness. You need to lay out.
No.
How much alcohol did you put in your drink?
I don't know. I just can't talk. That's all.
Nightmare Before Christmas, not clothing optional. Hey, Bob and Ashley.
Welcome, guys. No worries. No worries if you're late. Mike, just kidding.
I've known Mike since 2008 is when I met him.
Yeah. So yeah, he's in our videos. Some of like the Disney Magic one. But the one thing that I took away from this in the story is what I saw differently today is try something different if you're not happy with your life. And in this case, it didn't work out for him, and he realized what he was doing should have been the right thing he was doing, but at least he tried to do something different. I mean, I kind of related it to like the YouTube channel. If you stay down the same path, you can get bored, and your mind doesn't always work the way that you want it to, but you try different things. And you either want to come back to what you originally were doing or, try different things. So that kind of is what the message I took away from this. Don't be afraid to try different things. To help keep that creativity. And if it doesn't work out, you can always fall back on what you did originally. What did you take away from this movie?
Kind of the same thing that everybody else took.
How do you know what they took?
Well, the comments that they've been making, you know what? I'm
discussing it the whole time.
He needs a slap, Ben. Send him a slap. No, just like what everybody is saying, basically, I took away that they're all longing for something different. They don't want to do the same thing every day. They'll track with Malner. Well, he skeleton, but yeah. But they want to do something different. They don't want to do the same thing every day of their lives. So Jack was the one that got them out of it, but then it still backfired on them. You don't do something different by taking something from somebody else that already is doing it the right way.
Correct.
Like taking away from Santa Claus or even kidnapping the Easter bunny to the egg tree instead of the Christmas tree. So
I forgot that point. The fact that the extreme that he went to.
Yes, because the hatchet guy that Ben likes said bunny, and then he like.
Arnie, what did you think? What did you take away from it?
I took away that while you could try and do other things, you know what? And it's not that you just stick with what you know. It's just that at least try something new. It may not work out, but at least you tried. You can say, you know what? You can always have, what is it? There's a difference between buyer's remorse and buyer's regret. Remorse, you buy it, at least you have an opportunity to take it back. With regret, you never have that opportunity. It's that same idea in life. You can try something, you may have remorse about it, but at least you won't have regret that at least you tried something.
Well said. Ben and Sherry, what did you take away?
I thought you said Ben and Jerry, like Ben and Jerry ice cream.
Oh, I like that. Ice cream.
Oh, maybe we should start an ice cream company.
There you go, Ben and Sherry ice cream.
And then Tom and Jerry.
Oh, dear Lord.
I can't win.
Yeah.
I think I pretty much took away from it again that you need to take care of those around you. You know, be very compassionate the way Sally was with Jack. Because she genuinely cared about him. And I think even if she wasn't romantically interested in him, I think that her character was such that she would have cared for anybody except for
Dr. Finkelstein.
Yeah, which he was a little turd.
He made his own girlfriend out of half of his brain, so that tells you something there.
Yeah.
Ben, what did you take away from the movie?
You know, when I saw the film in the theater originally, I really didn't care for it. But I said the same thing about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now that is an annual tradition with me, and I look forward to starting it on my TV every year. I've seen The Nightmare Before Christmas a few times, not nearly as many times as Christmas Vacation, but the story is kind of like haunting to me. And I can see where trying to introduce one holiday into another holiday would be very, very desirable for Jack to do. But the takeaway for me is that holidays should be celebrated as they were intended to be celebrated. Leave Christmas alone. Have Halloween be Halloween.
Pam, thanks.
But if you're gonna mix holidays, why not mix those two together? Or collapse them?
I mean, I let's put like Labor Day and Thanksgiving together. I mean, come on, we work at eating, you know.
So, do you guys the age-old question for this movie? I guess, do you think it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Well, first, it's kind of, before you say that, sorry. It's interesting to know that when Tim Burton wrote this movie, that he wrote it with the intent of Disneyland creating an overlay for the movie.
He did not. That wasn't thought of until way after.
Yeah, in fact, Tim Burton was very much against that.
And he did not want any sequels. He still doesn't want sequels, but they did make a sequel in the way of a comic book or a comic book series, I guess, with Zero.
We'll talk about this in a second, Arnie, about that. So we're going to talk about if we think it's a Disney or Disney, a Halloween or Christmas movie.
And speaking of Zero, real quick, he's one of my favorite characters as well. And if you look really close, his glowing nose is actually a jack-o'-lantern, if you didn't know that.
It's cute. At the top of the hour, guys, we have This and That from the Disney side. On the cruising side, we have the ship show. So either one is going to be in a great show for you guys to watch. So please support those. Let them know D&G Explorers sent you. We'll go over to Arnie.
Yes.
Is it what do you think it is? What kind of movie is it?
Even Disney was confused about it itself because they released it on October 29th. So it was in time for Halloween as well as spilling into Christmas. Me personally, I find it to be a Christmas film.
Oh, look what the cat's dragging in.
Welcome, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hi, people.
Clients?
I am done. It
Wonderful.
went very, very, very well.
So, to you, is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or a Christmas movie?
Oh, it's a Christmas movie. See, I hung out with Imagineers. I know a lot about the movie. I like a lot of the history of the movie. And it's a Christmas movie. There's no discussing it. There's really nothing. It is, by definition, by Tim Burton. It's a Christmas movie.
So
Okay.
But he loves both of the holidays a lot.
What do Ben and Sherry say about it?
I agree with Doug. The focus is Jack trying to introduce Halloween or Christmas to people in Halloween Town and Christmas in general to everyone else. He wants to be Santa Claus. He wants to embody Santa Claus.
Not Santa Claus, Sandy Claus.
Thank you, Sandy Claus. But the fact that he works so hard at trying to create a Christmas just makes you know that it is a Christmas film. It is not a Halloween film.
What do you think?
Well,
or did Sherry, what do you think? Sorry.
I think it's both. I can't say it's one or the other because it's got elements of both.
Hey, Doug is always right.
What do you think, Derek?
At first, I thought it was a Halloweeny movie. A Halloweeny movie.
Boy, I want one of those drinks.
Thank you, Wanda.
I thought it was a Halloween movie at first, but I would actually say I think it's both. I would say that it's both, and I took it away of it being more of a Christmas movie this time than I did before. But I think it works that you could celebrate both of them. But I mean, he tried to be Santa Claus. Wanda and I were talking about it. They stole Santa Claus to become Christmas. So I'm thinking it could be both. Welcome the Mickey Bunch. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Greg, what did you think?
So, excuse me, I don't know if I actually really thought of it, but I think that I thought.
You think that you thought?
Because I didn't really think about it.
Disclaimer.
But
I think that I thought.
I don't know.
Think.
It's hard to think. I would probably say half and half, if I could even say that. But just to let you know, the director confirmed that the Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. During a 2015 Q&A about the film at Colorado's Telluride Horror Show Film Festival, Selleck, who is the director, said, "The Nightmare Before Christmas is indeed a Halloween film, but that doesn't stop anyone from enjoying the movie 365 days a year, regardless of upcoming holidays." He didn't really say why he thought it was a Halloween film, but he's the director, so I'm not going to argue with him.
I think Bob and Ashley are right. It is a merchandising film.
Either way, it's about the holiday. Absolutely. Tim Burton, as a child, grew up in Southern California and had the love for Halloween. This is a childhood thing. So, yes, he loves Halloween and Christmas, and he wanted to create it. It's about both, but it is more Christmas than Halloween.
Yeah, it's a Halloween ornament of Christmas.
That's awesome.
Halloween. And then about these.
Oh, God.
One thing about these. This was presented to Doug as part of an event that he went on October 3rd, 2001. It was the premiere of the Haunted Mansion Holiday at Disneyland. First time they did the overlay for The Nightmare Before Christmas. And these are replicas of the cards hanging in the seance room. Normally, Madame Leota is surrounded with instruments and things, but instead, at Halloween and Christmas, they have tarot cards that spin in the air, and that's what these are.
I was with a group,
couldn't buy
and
them.
When it was a special event, and then we went on the attraction for the first time. Everybody was just blown away. Then Disney had a bunch of cast members, and they were giving you a gift to leave. And when they were giving it, we had this thing, and when we opened it up, everybody just about exploded because we all thought it was going to be a stupid pen because 2001 was big on pens with 2000. But when we got that is the coolest thing that Disney gave outside of our giant diamond. Disney knows how to give away great gifts.
They do. But Doug bought this one too. It's of course in a coffin, but it's Jack Skellington. Sandy Claus, Jack.
It's interesting because going into a fabric store, they have both Christmas, Nightmare Before Christmas fabric, and they have Halloween Nightmare Before Christmas fabric.
Yeah.
So it just depends on which holiday you want to celebrate with them.
Bob and Ashley. It is a merchandising movie.
I would say it's both a Halloween and a Christmas movie because they collide. So you can't really cut it up or dissect it it's not one or the other; it's both.
They
In
blend.
my mind,
I do think Disney puts it out right after Labor Day because they want to capitalize on Halloween time and Christmas time.
Hallowismas.
Hallowismas. Yes, Pam was right.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
One
but
our-
it's one of my favorite childhood horror movies, holiday movies. And when
clothing optional. Clothing optional.
no, when I first saw
Derek
it,
has clothing optional. You have horror movies.
we do have horror movies. Yeah. When I first saw it in the theater in 1993, my dad took me to see it, and I just remember I still remember the big cardboard cutout of the swirly mountain and the pumpkins on the mountain, and just being excited because I knew how much I loved Halloween. And then seeing the opening, I agree with Jim, because Jim even said the opening of that movie and that song is like the best opening for Halloween and like a Halloween themed song that you can get. So I think it's the best opening of any movie really that I've seen so far.
It was a really good intro. I agree. I liked it.
Oh, it's up there with Lion King.
Yeah.
I think Lion King's first, when it opens, that movie starts with that bong, and that to me is the movie's perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they scared everyone, didn't they? But they didn't really trick or treat. CheatMeal FoodCat. She doesn't remember anyone trick or treating in the movie.
They had Lock, Shock, and Barrel, the three trick-or-treaters.
Halloween's done.
It starts November 1st. The film does.
Yeah.
What?
The film itself started on November 1st. That for the date, they had just finished a successful Halloween, and they're going to start planning the next one.
Yeah, that's why it's not about Halloween.
Oh,
because he's thanked by the mayor, and Jack coming out is to say, okay, Halloween's fun. I did it. It's finished.
and they're all stuck in let's plan for next year. There's only 365 days left or 365, and then the werewolf says 364.
Yeah.
So
You guys are getting ready to wrap it up here, but there's so many. We love how we have so many different kinds of channels in our chat. We thank you so much for watching us. We know there's a lot of things that you guys can do and see. The Mickey Bunch, thank you for joining us. If you guys haven't had a chance to check them out, definitely do. Papa Mozo, if you guys want some quick daily inspirational videos, very simple, very raw. He's a great guy. He's a good friend of ours. Check their videos out. I can go down the list with every channel that's in here that put content out, and our supporters that just come in and watch us. We really appreciate everything that you do for us and the support. We're coming close to up to 1,900 subscribers, so we're getting up to 19. We're like 27 away or something like that. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing this wonderful holiday classic with us, because it is a classic at this point. So
yeah.
Thank you for holding me accountable to watch it.
You're welcome.
Sure. I've been super
liked
busy. Do you like it?
I watched it this morning, and now my kids won't be so embarrassed of me.
It's
I
a
have to watch it every year now.
it's a feel good. The music it's just there.
Yeah.
It just kind of has that. It's just nothing else like it.
I think the debate of it's a Christmas or a Halloween movie will
Continue.
Oh,
forever. So I think everyone has valid points in terms of what it is. What do you guys have coming up?
Well, actually, I just posted a video on our channel about making a cocktail, the Haunted Mansion cocktail. So it's purple, just like Doug's shirt. Go check that out. It's on Pepper Tree Villa.
Tomorrow we have an episode of Life with Ben being posted, and it's Sherry and I trying 4 different other types of fall-related foods and beverages that we didn't try on Monday night's live stream. So it's the Taste of Fall extended.
I saw my grandson briefly yesterday, and he said he wants to taste everything that we tasted Monday night. And I said, no, you don't.
oh no. Mother will not allow that.
Oh, that turkey dinner candy corn.
Oh,
Still burping it up.
Getting shipped to Mike Wheeler. Yes, Mike Wheeler, if you're here, you're getting the bag. I taped it up, hermetically sealed.
That's what I've got to do.
Florida.
Doug, if you can text me his information, I'll send off this bag too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we have stuff, so.
So we can't wait to meet up with you guys again. And Sherry, we hope the next time that we all meet up that you're
Yeah.
a part of that
We
too.
gotta meet
So
you.
that'll be fun.
It will definitely.
You can help us find the pickle in the tree. We took 2 hours last year. We couldn't find the darn thing.
They actually have one in-
Yeah, it was there.
Gregory had to lay down because he was getting nauseated because the trees were spinning.
I never lied down. I don't know where you got that memory from.
I just have a flair for the dramatic, so
Okay.
I'm nauseated. I'm nauseous. I'm nauseated. I gotta sit down. I'm nauseated.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
To be fair, they have like 27 trees, and we found the pickle in every tree that had a pickle, minus the big Disney one that they have in their front room.
Mhm.
So we were successful. We had like a 99% success rate.
Yeah.
Um,
Pickle with mouse ears.
No, no one would have found it. I ended up finding it taken when we took the tree down, and it's like, oh, they would. It was so buried. I actually had to take a branch out to get it off. And he put it back and said, "We need to take a photo and send it to Derick." And I'm
See,
like,
it was there.
it was
It really
there.
was.
You would have never found it.
Well, CheatMeal FoodCat, thank you. You guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to CheatMeal FoodCat. Support them. Let's get them
Yep.
to 1,000 subscribers.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us today and being part of our awesome spooktacular show with Pepper Tree Villa.
Yes. For us, for next, what we're doing is I'm still working on the Cancun vlog. I'm going to do a daily vlog first. I wasn't going to do that, but I am going to do that now. So we're going to be doing that on the all-inclusive resort. Make
There
sure I
you
say
go.
that right.
You did it. Yay. I'm so proud of you.
I now question myself when I say that. And next week we're going to have ChadCruisers on our show, aren't we?
Yep. It's going to be another spooky show, but it's going to be our cruise show. But
Halloween
it's going to
on
be
the-
spooky.
On the high seas, haunted stories that, because not that I would like to make things up, but we'll see what I can come up
I don't
with.
have to make things up. I know of stuff.
Wanda says she wants pickles now.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for
Yep.
joining us.
We're going to go ahead and
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we need.
We're gonna eat dinner.
we're 7 minutes over, but everybody go check out.
The Ship Show, and also, and as we like to end our shows, I'm Derick.
I'm Gregory.
If you forget our name, it's okay, because I'm a little explorer.
I'm the Explorer.
And as Walt Disney once said,
We are just getting started. Have a good night, everybody.
Be
Have
safe.
a spooktacular time.
be
Night.
safe, everyone. If I can end the show.